Hi, my name is Mark Terry.
My name is Robert Bearden, and welcome to the AppVoodoo inaugural podcast.
Brought to you by We Owe Money Productions.
Yes, we owe lots of money. No, today we're going to talk about four games, actually. We're going to talk about Angry Birds Seasons. We're going to talk about Slayer Pinball. Mark has some things to say about that, and we're going to talk about Labyrinth, too. The Brio levels, and then we have a special guest coming in later, Ed. He's going to talk about Infinity Blade. He's actually been up all night testing the game, and he actually beat it. And
Finished
he has a lot of things to say about it.
In one night.
And one night. So he has a lot of things to say about it. So this should be good.
All right, what do you want to start with?
Well, let's get started with Angry Birds.
Okay.
What did you think about it?
Angry Birds is a fantastic game. It is a great puzzle game with all the classic things that you want out of a puzzle game, which is mostly you get addicted to it. Each level changes, but essentially it's the same thing. You've got an arsenal of birds that have to attack the pig heads.
Yeah, and I think it's a great game. The only thing I have, or dilemma I have with the Seasons version is the graphic. I mean the gravity. And the regular Angry Birds, you knock things over, things fall over. You know, the gravity pulls things down, and the Seasons version, that doesn't happen so much.
You can shoot the middle of a house down, and the top of the house still stays up there magically.
And this is not cool. That's about the only thing I don't like about the game. Other than that, the gameplay is great. I started out when it was just a Halloween version, thought it was fantastic, and then they came out with a new update for the Seasons, which I thought was just super fantastic except for the gravity thing. But my love for Angry Birds is so strong that I have no problems playing it all throughout the night and daytime.
Knowing that it has that gravity problem, you can still get around that. Just know that it's going to happen. So it just changes your strategy a little bit. Now, for those of you who haven't played it, your arsenal of birds includes a little red guy who doesn't really do a whole heck of a lot, to a little yellow guy, which if you tap the screen will gain speed, and he can really do a little bit of damage.
And I like the yellow guy, but I'm gonna have to say my favorite is the black guy, the black bird.
It's a bomb.
It's basically a bomb, and if you set him on top of, like, if you launch him and he lands on top of the building and he explodes, he pretty much does a lot of damage.
Yeah, he's cool.
A lot of damage. And the most unuseful bird that I can think of on that whole game is that freaking one that shoots eggs. That thing that shoots eggs.
I like the one that shoots eggs.
I don't like the one that shoots eggs.
If you use it correctly, you can actually get a double shot out of it.
But it is so hard to use it to get the double shot.
Yeah, you got to wait till you got to place it just right. Tap the screen. He drops a little egg bomb, and then also takes off really quickly. So you can actually get it to destroy two things at once. It is difficult, but
extremely
overall,
difficult.
Could be one of the most powerful weapons in the game.
True, this is true, but for me, the extreme amount of difficulty to get to that point where you're actually, you know, getting to hit two things at once with that bird is just too hard for me to even try it. So I don't even mess with it.
Well, the learning curve on the game is actually extremely easy. You can figure out each bird as it shows up.
Yes.
And figure out exactly as you progress in the levels how you can use it.
I definitely suggest starting out with the regular Angry Birds because it does have like the tutorial that shows you how to play. You know, that's where I started. I beat it. It's a fantastic game. But the Seasons is definitely a good add-on to Angry Birds.
Yeah, I was thrown into the Christmas season at level 7.
Yeah,
I didn't have that learning curve at first.
No rest for the weary, right?
Yeah. Anyway, we highly recommend the game.
Yes.
Like I said, great aspects of a puzzle game.
At the price point that it's at, I believe it's $1 right now. I mean, it's just a fantastic game, and it's well worth $1.
Hours of gameplay.
I mean, yeah, hours of gameplay. And even after you've mastered the game, you know, there's still that, you know, you want to get the extra stars. You still want to master it. There's always that level there of mastery, and they're always going to add new levels to it, and it's always going to get better and things like that. So it's just a really good game. And be on the lookout because, from what I understand, Angry Birds is coming out not just to the iPhone, iPad, but other devices as well.
Like
Xbox 360,
the Atari 2600,
and Android devices as well. Well, it's already out for Android, but It's coming out for game systems and all kinds of stuff. Just like I've seen other games out for the PlayStation 3 that are out for the iPhone.
Just to clarify,
specifically Peggle,
not for the Atari 2600.
Not for the Atari 2600. Unfortunately, it does not have the graphic power for Angry Birds. I can only imagine what Angry Birds would look like on the Atari 2600.
Yeah, little yellow squares attacking little pink squares.
Which would kind of be pretty sweet in its own right. So I'm putting out a challenge. If anyone wants to go out there and create a Flash version of Angry Birds for the Atari 2600,
I will play it.
We will play it.
I guarantee I will play it.
And if we see it out there, we will put it in our podcast and put it live over the internet.
Absolutely.
So put that out there for us, guys.
Now, one of the last things I'll say about Angry Birds, get used to saying that guy is too well guarded. There's always one little pig on every single level that just seems to be in a corner somewhere, and as you shoot other things, all the rubble comes down and actually buries him even more, so you really can't get to him. So
and the funny thing
get used to that. And
the funny thing is, he's just sitting there with a big old grin on his face.
Oh, yes, he is.
He's just as happy as a pig in a slop. So definitely check out Angry Birds. It's an awesome game. We totally
highly recommend it.
We give it 4 thumbs up.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So, you ready to talk about Labyrinth?
Yes.
What did you think about Labyrinth 2, the Brio levels?
Great graphics. I mean, very true to and the actual game. The Brio level that I played was right from the original. Now, I've played the original game before, and I was never able to get to the end with it. I never really had the patience to do it, turning the dual knobs. Now, on the iPad, with a much bigger screen, it's a lot more subtle. So what I didn't like about it is on my second try, I actually made it all the way to the end with really not too much trouble whatsoever. So that part was a little bit easier. Now, apparently it gets harder.
Yes, it definitely gets harder. I've played Labyrinth 2 the whole game through and throughout, not just the Brio levels. I played it on the iPhone and the iPad, and I personally prefer things on the iPad just because they're a lot easier to play. But the iPhone has really great gameplay as well. One of the things that I like about Labyrinth 2 is the addition of the fans and the magnets and all that stuff on there too. That's just crazy. And one of the things I really like as well is the downloadable levels. I cannot tell you. I mean, there's so many downloadable levels. It's just hours and hours and hours and hours of fun. And this is just one of my favorite go-to games. It's just amazing. The gameplay is just amazing, and it's just so sensitive. And you know, it seems easy. You know, what is it they say? A minute to learn and a lifetime to master. You know, that's pretty much what it is.
I disagree.
But
I thought it was less than a minute to learn, less than a minute to master. At least the level that I played. Now I can see adding fans and adding magnets.
Well, yeah,
definitely will add an added element to the game.
But you played the original.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about that for a second.
Okay.
Because that makes you sound really old.
Yes, I am.
I played with wooden boxes. We didn't have iPads when I was a kid. It was all wooden knobs and twisty things, and he's just first it's Atari 2600, then it's knobs and wooden boxes. I mean, the guy's just really dating himself. Next, he's gonna say he used an abacus. I mean, how far back are we gonna go?
I know.
Oh, he's coming.
I can use an abacus.
Oh God.
They're not just toys.
I guess there is some significance to that, and there's somewhere I don't know.
Now, have you ever played Marble Madness, the arcade Marble Madness?
Yes.
I imagine that the upper levels of the Brio game were a lot like that with the vacuum magnets.
And for those of you that don't know what Marble Madness is, essentially it's one of the greatest arcade games. I think it's one of my favorites. Essentially, you have a marble and you go through all these levels, and there's like ups and downs, and you have to. The marble goes through and up and down, and I believe they came out with it for the Nintendo too, didn't they?
Yes, they did. They actually
came out with it for the
Nintendo. Genesis also had a version of it.
Yeah, it's an excellent game. If we're not promoting ROMs because they're illegal, but if you get a chance to download MAME and you happen to find it on a ROM, give it a shot. I think you'll really enjoy it. If you like Labyrinth, you'll really enjoy Marble Madness. It's a really slick game. I mean, it's really slick.
So the concept may not be an original concept, but it still is a fun concept.
And I really like the fact that Labyrinth is going out and getting like the Brio levels, and you know they're reaching out and getting some of the classic you know, things that people played with as a child, and putting it on the iPad, bringing that experience back to the iPad, which is really cool. A lot of people connect to that stuff.
Sure. A lot of originality coming out of that.
Yeah.
So let's think, what else can we do with this technology?
Exactly. That's really cool. And my hat's off to the creators of that game. So. Absolutely. So yeah. So what did you think about Slayer Pinball? Well, more importantly, Pinball HD in general. I'll just give you my Slayer Pinball is an add-on to Pinball HD. You have the Wild West Pinball, you have the Deep Blue Pinball, and then you have the Jungle Pinball, which I personally like all three of them. But just because of the fact that it's pinball on the iPad and pinball on the iPhone, to me, it doesn't get any better than that. And recently I just saw something in a Brookstone catalog. It was I showed this to Mark.
Yeah,
it was
very cool.
It was basically a setup for your iPad to turn it into a pinball machine. It would sit on a table and you could do a pinball machine, and it was pretty sick.
Even had a back glass on it, short little back glass on it, so it really made it look like a pinball table.
This guy here is a pinball aficionado.
Absolutely.
Anytime, this is the only guy I know that can walk into an arcade and spot a free game on any machine just by walking past. We'll be at a bar or an arcade or something, and he'll be like, free game. And I'm just like, whoa, how did you know that?
It's a totally useless talent, but
it's a totally useless talent, but
it has a certain financial benefit.
Well, it may be useless to some people, but to me, it's beneficial because I like free games.
I do too.
He walks past a pinball machine and he just knows there's a free game.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty slick, but to some people it might be an unuseful talent, but I think it's pretty sweet. But
now the HD pinball in general, very good. The ball physics are excellent.
Yeah.
The game, really, if you've ever played the PS1 game Extreme Pinball or any scrolling pinball machine, that is something that takes a little bit getting used to. I like a more stable table where I can actually just see the ball in the direction that it's going, rather than a scrolling table, which sometimes it gets down to the bottom, and my flippers I'm just not used to that.
Exactly.
So the scrolling aspect is a little bit different to get used to. The graphics are absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
And there's a lot of great aspects of the game as far as ramps, very professional, lots of different things to do in the games. So it plays like a real pinball table. My only other downside that I would say about it is the flippers, not like a real pinball machine. They kind of come up really far. So it's just an aspect of the game, again, that you have to get used to that's not so much like a real pinball table. It's a little bit more difficult to catch the ball because they go up so high. But overall, I give it 2 thumbs up as well for all the pinball tables that they have.
I give it 2 thumbs up as well. It's an excellent pinball game. One of the things I'd like to see, though, I know that people are starting to make accessories for the iPad and the iPhone. If someone happens to come out with a dock or something that gives me flipper buttons on the side, that would be pretty sweet. If somebody out there wants to take that challenge and come up with a pinball setup, the Brookstone one is nice, but that just gives you the aesthetics or the visual of a pinball machine.
Yeah.
You still have to tap the screen, which I don't mind. I'm used to it with the iPad, but flippers on the side would be so freaking sick. I mean, that would just be the most amazing thing ever. We could.
And we know there's people out there that can do this.
Yes, we know people in our audience that can do this. So if you guys want to go ahead and create this, man, that would be sick. We'd be your first buyers. I'm telling you right now, you'd have two buyers right here.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. iPhone and iPad, because I've seen some of these add-ons that they're making for the iPhone, like the jackpot slots. I saw one for the iPad. It was just a big slot arm. That's cool. That's a start. But it's not. I'm not really into slot machines that much, so it doesn't really interest me that much. But a pinball one would be pretty sweet.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. So anybody out there, that would be awesome. But what did you think? What do you think about the individual levels? I like Wild West.
Uh-huh.
I like Deep Blue.
Yep.
The Jungle one, is okay. It's kind of all over the place. It shoots the ball all over the place, and then it sets up. I think it was in the middle. It sets up like a wall sometimes, so you can't get through. There's like a thing that spins. I'm not really fond of that. As far as the jungle one, but the Wild West and the Deep Blue are probably my two favorites. Slayer just came out. I know you played it a lot more than I have. I'm okay on it. I'm not like a huge fan of it, but do I think it's worth the 99 cents or $1.99 it is to add as an in-app purchase? I would say yes. It's another pinball machine, and it's a great machine, and my hope is that the creators of this game will add more pinball machines as we go down the road, which I'm sure they will.
Totally open to that. I mean, pinball is such an open form anyway.
Exactly.
I mean, you can do just about anything with any theme you can pick.
Personally, what I see is a deal with Bally and Bally pinball machines on the iPad.
Bally, Williams pinball tables, Stearns.
Yep.
I mean, there's so many out there that they can work with.
And, if they did this as an in-app purchase, 99 cents for a table or $1.99 for a table, I mean, this could skyrocket, even on the iPhone. I mean, just to have something like the Indiana Jones pinball or the Star Wars pinball. These machines that are out there that are fantastic. Pinbot, one of my favorite pinball machines of all time. Pinbot was, the
Jackbot,
greatest.
all three of those were fantastic
just
Williams
awesome,
tables.
awesome pinball machines out there that could be put on the iPad and the iPhone and just totally, soar. And that. I guess that's my challenge to the creators of that game. If you guys,
keep them coming.
Keep them coming. Yeah, and if you can work deals with, Bally's and Williams and get the machines out there, I think that would be awesome. That would be sick. But what more importantly, I know we got a little off topic, but what did you think about Slayer? A little.
I liked Slayer. Again, the graphics were fantastic. Any pinball table is going to have its own problems that you have to kind of get around. This one I thought was really kind of heavy on the right-hand side. The ball will drain down there more than any other place in the game. Out of all the times that I've played it, and probably had about 50 chances to 50 balls that I've played on the various games, the majority of the time it drained down the right-hand side. So that part gets a little bit frustrating. But I have to say, overall, you're going to deal with that on just about any game where you don't particularly care for certain things.
Yeah.
Now, there's other pinballs tables out there for the PlayStation 1. You had a lot of the Time Shock pinball, the Web, Big Race pinball. Those were all very good non-scrolling tables, which I liked a lot. However, I have to say the HD pinball stuff has better pinball physics than those tables did. Those tables just seem to not be programmed right. The ball doesn't shoot off the flipper the right way sometimes. But the HD pinball, the physics are very, very accurate. So as frustrating as accurate physics are, it definitely brings the enjoyment of pinball right into your hands on the iPad.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely gives you that excitement on the of the pinball on the iPad and the iPhone as well. I mean, it has the Retina graphics on the iPhone. It looks fantastic on the iPhone. I know we've talked a lot today about the iPad, but all the games that we've talked about are available on the iPhone as well, and they look just as phenomenal as they do on the iPad. And the gameplay is just as good. It's just a smaller device.
Yeah.
But they're just as good. For that pocket. These are definitely pocket games on the go. Pull out your phone
while you're sitting on the bus riding around Disney.
Yeah. Because that's what you do in Florida. You sitting on a bus or a monorail and ride around Disney. We do it every day. No, but yeah, definitely. I mean, these are definitely pocket games. Take them on the go. They're cheap. They're 99 cents. They don't cost a lot. They're fantastic. Give yourself that nice break, 5-10 minutes on Angry Birds. These are awesome games. So definitely. Definitely check these games out.
All of these.
Yeah, worth the price of admission on all of these. Yeah, definitely check them out. Get in the App Store. Check out AppVoodoo.com. We'll be live soon, January 1st, and we'll have recommendations and all kinds of stuff for for apps. We'll have this. Hopefully, we'll have a search system in place. Yes, I'm getting a head nod that there will be a search system in place. I mean, the site is going to be phenomenal, and really, I'm really excited about it. And it's just, this is going to change the way that you guys search and find apps. It's going to make it a lot easier for you guys to find apps. Between our recommendation engine and our search system, and we're even going to give you guys the ability to. We're going to take your ideas. We're going to give you the ability to submit ideas for apps.
And we will listen.
And we have a team. We have a team of developers that are going to create these apps, and we're going to cut you in on the money. We're going to make sure that you're compensated for your ideas. We're going to make sure that your ideas don't go by the wayside. If you have a good idea out there and you want to submit it, by all means, do it.
You make the app, and we'll try it.
Yeah. And we'll definitely review it in our podcast, and we'll definitely talk about it, and we'll see how it goes. But I mean, if you have an idea, submit it. We'll take them. I mean, if we have a team of developers, I'm an app developer. I'd love to create your ideas.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I just like playing the stuff.
Yeah. He's been playing for a long time. Trust me. Way back to the Atari 2600 days.
Yeah, even before that. So
I don't know if I want to open this can of worms, but I'm just going to do it. Mark, how do you feel about the Atari 2600?
I love it. It is the mother of all video game systems. Without it, we would have nothing today. So, yeah. Big fan of Nolan Bushnell. Rock on, Nolan!
I'm going to kind of disagree with you there because I'm going to have to say, without Pong, where would we be today?
Well, we had that, but for a home gaming console that brought out so many other, so many things, brought gaming to the home and into the hearts of people. Without that,
true. I'm totally agree with you on that. Yep. I love me some Frogger.
You'll lose this debate if you really want to get into it.
No, I don't want to get into it. Trust me. Trust me, I don't want to get into it. But that's about all the time we have for today for the AppVoodoo podcast.
Rock on.
We hope you guys enjoyed our inaugural podcast. Please send out shout-outs, comments, anything you want to say to us. If you think we totally sucked, we're the Touch Arcade podcast. If you thought we were great, we're the AppVoodoo podcast. All right, so definitely check our website out, appvoodoo.com. Sign up to get email alerts of site updates and things like that until we go live January 1st, and check us out.
All right, you'll be seeing us again.
And this is Robert.
And Mark.
And we had fun talking to you.
Thanks.
All right, bye.
Okay, that was